all of you who want to speak good English, to improve your English and make it better, need to know many words. If you know just one word for a particular expression, that is not enough. In this video, you have similar words, a pair of similar words, which are also used in sentences to show you how they can be used. By learning all these, you will be able to expand your vocabulary. You will have more words at your disposal when you are speaking or writing. Let us see these words. Look at the two words here, lovely and delightful. Lovely and delightful can be used sometimes interchangeably, one instead of the other. At other times, they might be used only in a particular context where the other one cannot be used. These are two similar words. My daughter has a lovely smile. One sentence. The children spent a delightful day at the zoo. Sad and miserable are words of similar meaning. Here are two sentences which show you how you can use them. I was sad to hear that my friend was moving away to another city. Miserable is much more than sad. The homeless man spent a miserable night in the park. Here you can't say sad, but in the first sentence you can say I felt miserable. Instead of saying I was sad, you can say I felt miserable. Funny and hilarious are two words which have similar meaning. Look at both the sentences. The audience found the antics of the clowns in the circus very funny. Now, instead of saying very funny, you can also say hilarious. The movie was hilarious and we could not stop laughing. Here, hilarious is more than funny. We could not stop laughing. That tells you about it. Look at the similar words, boring and tedious. The lecture was so boring that most of us dozed off. Dozed off is fell asleep, in case you don't know that meaning. So boring, boring. Now, tedious, the next sentence shows you a tedious. Housework can be very tedious. Sometimes boring, but sometimes tiring also. Laugh, very common word, and guffaw. Guffaw is to laugh loudly. It is rude to laugh when someone makes a mistake. We should remember this because it's not only a sentence, but it's something we need to practice. Next, he burst into a loud guffaw reading a joke. Here it is not only loud laugh, but much more than that. The two similar words in this slide are happy and elated. Look at the sentences. He was happy to hear that he had passed the test. Here you can say elated also. I was elated when I found that I had secured the highest marks in the test. Here, of course, very happy, elated. You can also use very happy. The next pair is the word pretty and charming. Pretty and charming can be used in similar contexts sometimes and sometimes not. The little girl was wearing a pretty dress. Now here we can't use charming. The little girl had charming manners. Here, charming is right. Now we have two words, bad and awful. The two sentences are, I felt bad when my sister spoke rudely to me. Here you can also say awful. I felt awful. Everything went wrong today and I had an awful day. Here awful is more powerful than bad. Kind and compassionate are two similar words. They have similar meaning. That rich man is very kind and helps poor students. The nurse in the hospital was very compassionate. Here you can also use kind, but compassionate says it with much better expression. Now the similar words are strong and sturdy. He goes to the gym regularly to build a strong body. The wooden bridge across the river looks very sturdy, usually sturdy for things. Get and obtain are words which have similar meaning. Look at the sentences. Where will I get a bus to go to the university? Now here you cannot use obtain, you have to say get. She is studying hard to obtain a scholarship. Here, of course, to get a scholarship is also possible. Weak and frail are similar. My father has become very weak after suffering from fever. The old woman was too frail to travel. Afraid and terrified are similar. Terrified is a higher degree of being afraid. She was afraid to go into a dark room at night. She was terrified of imaginary dragons and ghosts. Now we have another similar word to strong, that is robust. Earlier we had sturdy, now robust. Brushing your teeth before going to bed keeps them strong. That is, keeps the teeth strong. This is a robust tree which has withstood many strong winds. When the wind and the storm come, the trees usually fall down if they are not strong or robust, if they are not, able to withstand or to take the force of the wind. Here are two similar words, explain and clarify. Today the teacher will explain how to write an essay. Explain is to tell step by step, whereas clarify usually means you have a question and explanation is given in answer to that question. So it's slightly different. The teacher has clarified all our doubts. Important and crucial are words with similar meaning. I have a very important meeting today. This meeting is crucial for the future of our company. So you can see the difference. They are similar. You can say crucial meeting in the first sentence also. You can say important in the second sentence also. But there is quite a lot of change when you use each of these words. A very common word, poor, has another word of similar meaning, and that is impoverished. Poor people cannot afford expensive medical treatment. They can't go to big hospitals, doctors. Poor people. That means they have no money. The country became impoverished after the famine and civil war. Famine is where there is no food, and civil war is when there is infighting inside a country. Not war with another country, but by people of the same country. Rich is a common word, and affluent, very rich, that is this word of similar meaning. He became rich after winning a lottery. She comes from an affluent family. Here, affluent is very rich. Two words of similar meaning are rude and uncouth, behaving badly, both of them. You must not be rude to your elders. There you can't use uncouth, you have to say rude. It is uncouth behavior to spit on the road. You just throw the saliva from the mouth, that is spitting. So it is uncouth. There you can certainly say rude behavior. Start and initiate are similar. To begin, let us start reading from the beginning of chapter 2. He never initiates a conversation. That means he does not say, hello, how are you? Somebody else has to start the conversation. So he never initiates a conversation. Think and contemplate also are similar in meaning. He needs to think about the problem to find a solution. Here you don't use contemplate. He could not contemplate a life without his pet dog. Here you have to, if you want think, you have to say he could not think of a life. Think of, not only think a life. Talk, a very common word, similar in meaning is converse. Today let us talk about the weather. There the word talk is used. We need not use converse because it's an informal sentence. He converses easily with strangers. Here it is correct. Here you can also say he talks easily with strangers, but converse is much better. The next pair of similar words, see and perceive. He wanted to see all his children well settled, getting a good salary, having a good house, etc., well settled. He wanted to see all his children well settled. The blind man perceived that we had entered the room. A person who cannot see with the physical eyes, he can imagine. He has another level of sight, not eyesight, where he can understand that somebody has come into the room. There we use the word perceive. There we don't use see because a blind man clearly shows that he doesn't have this eyesight. Here we have the last one, give and bestow. She is planning to give away all her old clothes. Bestow is to gift. That is a meaning, not only give. The monk bestowed his blessings on the woman who fed him. So that is, he gifted blessings by saying, may God bless you because you gave me food and I want God to give you blessings. In this way, if you practice using each of these pairs in at least 10 or 20 sentences, you will benefit immensely. Your vocabulary will increase. All of you who are struggling with vocabulary and all of you who send me comments saying how to develop my vocabulary, here are the videos which I am giving you. They will help you. Practice and then comment and let me know how this video has helped you improve your vocabulary. Thank you and all the best.